Hey everybody, and thanks for watching Woodcrest Bonsai. Today I'm going to take cuttings from my procumbens Nana Juniper. I wanted to wait until about the end of February, but we had a warm-up last week that was way above normal, and so they have begun to sprout. This year has been really interesting. We've had some interesting temperatures. The month of January was about 3 degrees below normal, which included about 4 days in the 30s. Luckily, we got no freeze, and probably more importantly, we didn't get any frost either. And I was able to root prune the vast majority of my juniper collection during that time. And then the first week of February was also quite cool, but the second week of February, it warmed up to the mid-80s. And in fact, one of those days it was 88 degrees in the middle of February. And that's just insane, since the average high in February is 73 and the average low is 53. Well, just recently we had cold front move through, and now we're basically at average temperatures. And it looks like it's going to stay that way for about a week. So that's a wonderful thing, because it was just too hot too soon. I mean, in zone 10 in Florida here, it's 90 degrees for the high, pretty much from the middle of May to about the middle of September, every single day. Not all, not perfect, but anyway. So I've got new growth on my junipers. You can see right here, all that nice bright green. And on a lot of trees, got my perlite, which has a little bit of organic matter added, which is why it looks dirty. And I've got my rooting hormone. And I also have some rooting hormone in this water. So I'm going to take the cuttings and I'm going to soak them in this water until I have all the cuttings done. Then I'm going to use the rooting hormone and put them into the tray. So on many, many different trees, the best cuttings are done with what is called half-hard wood. So let me see if I can get this a little better. So we see right here we have green, 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 green. And if we look over here, we have brown. But there's that point right in between where it's turning from green to brown, and that is where you want to take the cutting. So I'll do one here. So I'm going to cut right in that point. It's called half-hard wood. It's not green and it's not brown. It's just right in between. It's kind of like Goldilocks. Mama bear was too soft. Papa bear was too hard. But baby bear was just right. Okay, so then, once you've got the cutting, I take off about half of the bottom. And a lot of people do kind of like a cut like that. But I've been experimenting lately with taking my thumb and just very gently scraping the bark away to expose the cambium. Just very, very gently. You see that nice green cambium there. Then I'm going to soak it in the water, which has rooting hormone in it. And this rooting hormone really doesn't dissolve in water. It's more of an emulsification. And this is just a temporary thing. I could just stick it right into the tray, but I'm experimenting with soaking my cuttings in an emulsification of water and rooting hormone. Of course, now that changed the whole aspect of this tree here when we cut that away. And that's okay, because if we have first main branch, second main branch, this branch is way too long anyway. It should be shortened probably to about there. And promote an apex, probably this guy, and I will probably turn this into gin. So I'm not worried about the fact that I've changed the style on these guys now, because I'm going to style them a little bit later, and I'm going to be removing a lot of that top growth. I left it to get the cutting. So I've got, what, 12 or 15 of these guys. So I will be taking cuttings. Morning, Ellen. Good morning, Cindy. That's my neighbor. She must have heard me. That's hilarious. She runs every single day. And it shows, because she's in fantastic shape. I don't run at all, and it shows because I'm in horrible shape. Anyway, where was I? God, she just threw me for a loop. I'm going to go get more junipers. This is a tree that I did not root prune, and as such, I never featured it on my channel this fall, or this winter when I was root pruning all the rest of them. And I don't know why I didn't get to it. I just didn't get to it. But it has a lot of really nice places to take cuttings. We've got some really long stuff here, and then a really, really long one right here that goes way out. So I'm going to do, here's another perfect example. Green, 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 and then woody, and then right in there, that's when I'm going to take the cutting. And that appears to be juvenile foliage, but that's okay. I'm not worried about that. So take the cutting. And then chop off about half of the foliage. Whenever I do cuttings, I want the cutting deep, so it's going to end up in the soil, like right here. It's going to end up in the cutting mix. About 50% of it's going to be below the soil. And I want at least 2 inches, maybe even more. And I'm also trying an experiment this year on just about every cutting I take, is I'm putting them in a tray of water. And I've got a super, super high-tech tray I'm going to use on this 10-inch bulb pen, and it is the top of a pie food container, but it fits perfectly. I'll show you. And I've had great luck so far. I took some Ilex Schillings cuttings and I did that. So now I'm just going to very gently scrape away to expose the cambium. And it's all experimentation. Okay? I took some cuttings, what was it, last year? And I don't know, I did 20 or 30, and I think I got, what, 5 that stuck. Of course, as a hobbyist, do I need 900 Procumbens Nano Junipers? Probably not. So anyway, that's the process. I'm just going to keep going. And then once I've got them all in my little container soaking, then we'll do the sticking. It's called sticking cuttings. So I will be back once I've just taken all the cuttings I need. And another thing about soaking them like this is that they stay wet, because it might take me another 20 minutes or so to go through all of them and take all the cuttings. So the original ones, the first ones, stay good and moist in the It's actually an emulsification. The rooting hormone does not dissolve in water, because I've seen it when I do this, and I stir it up. If I come back 2 or 3 hours later, all the hormone has settled back to the bottom of the container. So that's the procedure for today. Take all the cuttings I can from all the trees I can, without really even looking at the styling. This tree, like I said, I never even featured this tree, but it is another one that is definitely an interesting tree. And I'm doing, I guess, what they call a beginner mistake, where I'm just taking the whole tree and styling it from there. A lot of people want to cut it way back or wire, blah, 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 blah. But like I said, bonsai is a very personal thing, and this is the way I like to do it. So I'll be back once I've done all the rest of the cuttings, and we'll stick them into the rooting media. Here's the first batch of cuttings. My container got too crowded. And what happens if you really crowd it, then when you pull one, all the rest of them come up. So then I've got my end that I've scraped a little with my thumb into the rooting hormone. And I normally don't knock too much of it off. And then into the mix. And I want to put it down really good and deep. That's another, and it's not just junipers, it's anything. You want your cuttings to be at least a couple inches deep. So into the rooting hormone and into the mix. And it's the same procedure for all of them. Into the rooting hormone, maybe knock a little bit of it off, and then into the mix. And I'm putting them about 1.5 inches apart, something like that. And so there you go. And then it's already got the pie tray on the bottom. So I'm still going to mist them, and I do this all by hand. I don't have any kind of mist system. I don't have any timer. I don't have any fog system or any kind of hot house. I have no greenhouse. I have no tube house with plastic. But as the water fills up into the tray, then it can wick up and provide moisture to the cuttings. And so far, the cuttings I've taken this year, I've done Schilling's holly, and I just did some Radii religiosa, and they're doing beautifully with that method. And they're just right out into just in air. There's not anything special about keeping them moist or high humidity or anything like that. So, like I said, it's all a giant experiment. And there's the first 3. And, it's the same thing. Again and again and again. So thanks for watching. Let's hope that we get some kind of results from these guys. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. I will give you an update. Sometimes I let these guys stay in this mix for quite a while, so the update might be 6 months from now. It really just all depends. The best way to tell if a cutting has rooted is that you see brand new growth, because brand new growth can only begin if you got brand new roots. So that's it for today. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already subscribed, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. And leave a comment. Has anybody else attempted juniper cuttings? And of course, it's only the middle of February. But that's the time of year I need to do it. If you're in a place like Virginia or Pennsylvania or upstate New York or a place like that, then your timing is going to be different. But my timing for these is right now. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.